So in the late 90s, I was a principal of Chilizi Primary School. The whole story started because the school had challenges. Children were overcrowded in the classes. We didn't know what to do. We realized that this cannot go like this. There was a need of a fax machine. And after scouting, I went to a former student of the school, a person who loves education, Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa.
I was asked by my former school to donate a fax machine. And then she took me around the school. And I was actually quite horrified to see how badly dilapidated my school was and the great need that they had. And out of a call for a fax machine, the Adopt a School Foundation was born.
I think Cyril gave us a hearing because he went through the experiences of the very schools, the hardships of the very schools. So it didn't stop with a fax machine. They had given us 6 classrooms. Children could now play freely in the school because they made also a sport field. Each and every child enjoyed coming to school.
I was working in Mr. Ramaphosa's office and I asked what they wanted. And they said, well, seeing he was a businessman, they'd like a fax machine. When we got there, we realized that the fax machine was the least of their issues. And we thought we could raise money and we could assist the school more holistically. And then we kind of slowly found that this works and started doing it for other schools. And we then registered the Adopt a School Foundation.
Adopt a School Foundation is a partner entity of Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation, and one of the provisions that Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation provides for Adopt a School Foundation is the philanthropic infrastructure to enable Adopt a School to fulfill its mandate of implementing whole school development and reaching as many beneficiaries as possible by improving the quality of basic education in schools. Whole school development model, it's quite important because it enables a school to develop and touch all the important touch points of a functional school, as well as all the important touch points that help us to have a holistic being as a learner that has gone through the education system.
And through that, you need to focus more on leadership. You need to look at the curriculum, you look at the social challenges and the infrastructure. And through that, that's how the model of whole school development was introduced. To ensure sustainability in a school, there needs to be good leadership, governance. And to ensure that we transform the school, we ensure that things are sustainable, you need to develop our educators.
Sasha understands that the problems of this country can really only be solved through education. It's important for leaders to understand, number one, the mission and vision of this country, where we are trying to get to in education as a country. Then the leadership of the school must take that in and implement that and give that to the learners and the teachers in the schools.
From the training, I've learned that as the principal, we have to look at the school from the top so that you understand all the aspects of the school and how to deal with people, how to relate with people. Every time when we do the management plan, you ask yourself one question: are we striving towards better education as per our vision and mission?
The most important one is the infrastructure in our school. One which we say is the basic infrastructure are your classrooms, the ablution block, lack of sanitation in our schools. The majority of our schools in the rural areas lack sanitation. So we are looking at waterless structures that can be implemented.
We invested over 100 million rands since 2012 through the adoption of 30 schools. We provided ablution facilities. And then we also provided information, communication, and technology infrastructure.
Since we have our Adopt a School Foundation as part of Ngwethe Secondary School, our results, I can tell you, has improved so much. With the laboratories, with the resources that have provided us for, we are really grateful for Adopt a School for giving us such resources.
Adopt a School Foundation helped our school with the combination court where we can play netball and basketball and build our grade art classrooms.
The innovative solution that we are currently implementing in our schools, we use local people, unskilled and skilled people that we are putting into the communities. And in that way, we also empower the communities as part of the transfer of skills.
I was a bricklayer at this school. I've learned so many things that I didn't know before. I was also a learner from this school, so I'm proud of what is being in location. This is our children's future.
We know and we understand that our educators are qualified as educators, but we look at how they implement the curriculum management system in the school. We've seen during lockdown that majority of our schools in rural areas couldn't go back to schools. Learners have to stay at home because of lack of resources. So ICT has become more important to be implemented in those schools.
Adopted schools help my school in many ways. They organize qualified professionals to come here and develop teachers and also support learners with resources as well as teaching. They have built us a media lab, they have provided us with computers, and also they have trained us regarding how to use those computers and advanced computer literacy training.
It is important for social programs to be implemented at these schools because of where these kids come from, having all these issues of gender-based violence, children abuse, so they are able to address those challenges at an early age.
Adopted schools send an optometrist and check all the learners' eyes, and those who could not see received spectacles.
The intervention is targeted at visual impairment among the learners. It's very labor-intensive, which means we have to attend to every learner in a school. It involves community health workers, it involves teachers, parents, whole school development with the aim of removing learning barriers that are eyesight-related amongst the learners.
They used to mock me at school because I couldn't read and stuff. I used to translate the wrong things. But after getting them, then I realized that I'm actually the top reader in my class. So thank you, Adopted School. You've improved my life, and now my school can see a brighter future.
The impact that we are seeing when we implement the whole school development is more on the improved professionalism, the improved content of knowledge, the improved skills of the educators, and also the learning outcomes. But more than that, because of the leadership that we are implementing in schools, we see now educators are becoming more dedicated, they are motivated, they are accountable, and they are more responsible. But more than that, what is breathtaking is to see the communities that are appreciating. So we were able to bring back the dignity to the communities. Furthermore than the whole school development model, Adopted School Foundation prides itself in the TARI program. TARI program was founded to address the social ills in the schools that were impacting on the improvement on the learning outcomes. The TARI program encompasses 3-pillar model: the psychosocial support services to women and children through youth and child care workers, safe parks that function as recreational and life skills facilities, and a therapeutic space for vulnerable children requiring psychosocial support as well as aftercare support.
Congratulations, Adopted School Foundation.
Happy birthday, Adopted School.
Happy 20th anniversary. We appreciate the good work that we have done. Let it not stop here. Let it also be expanded to those who are dire in need.
Together with our stakeholders, we'll make another 20 years.
And we want them to continue contributing to the transformation of education in our country.
Halala Adopted School, halala. I wish you many more years and help many more schools.